Nigeria, this is Newsline and I'm Becky Badujemo. We appreciate you for joining the program tonight. We plan to give you a great time this week. An elderly gentleman in Plateau State has written his name in gold. Many Nigerians who heard of how he took a chance on death, trying to save others from dying, have declared him the hero of the now. You would bestow on him same title when you find out the role he played to deserve it. Meanwhile, there is looming disaster for residents of a layout in Lagos. The presence of highly inflammable storage outlets in their immediate environment has them living on the brink of calamity. Can adequate safety be restored to that axis of town? That question defines the report waiting in the wings. Murder in College sounds very much like a thriller, doesn't it? But in this case, it is neither a book nor a movie. It happened for real. The chilling details are contained in our final segment. To set things in motion, we begin with the news by Elizabeth Omori. Over to you, Lizzie.
Okay, it's nice to see you again, and thanks for joining us on the news segment of Newsline. The presidency is reminding Nigerians that the ballot box remains the only constitutional means of changing government, with emphasis on the fact that the days of coups are over. This is in reaction to calls by a group, Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria, for a planned revolution protest on Monday, 5th of August, with the aim of bringing about a regime change. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, pointed out the difference between peaceful call to protest, which is said is the inalienable right of all citizens, and incitement for a revolution. Garba Shehu said less than 6 months ago, Nigeria held simultaneous presidential and parliamentary elections, which were won resoundingly by President Muhammad Buhari and his All Progressives Congress Party, and attested to by a core of international election monitoring missions. The presidency therefore tasks those hiding behind everyday citizens to attain power through undemocratic and violent means to come clean and lead a march in person. Only then, the statement adds, may they begin to have the right to call themselves leaders before the people of Nigeria. In the meantime, Department of State Services has confirmed that Omoyele Sowore, presidential candidate of African Action Congress in the February presidential election set to be coordinating a planned nationwide protest, is in its custody. Spokesman of the service confirmed this to newsmen in Abuja. Francis Form reports.
Sowore and others featured in a viral video urging Nigerians to join a nationwide protest planning for Monday the 5th of August. The Department of State Services, whose responsibility is to manage, curtail, contain and eliminate threats against national security, confirmed his arrest early Sunday morning, warning groups who may want to disrupt the peace of the country to have a rethink.
Sowore is with us so that we can do the needful. DSS will not idle by, stand by, and watch people, self-serving people take laws into their hands. We will do all that is within the law to discharge our responsibility.
The Nigeria police had earlier issued a statement warning the organizers and sympathizers of the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy group to desist from their planned protest, demonstration, and proposed revolution march. Similarly, leadership of the organized labor dissociated itself from such planned protests. DSS asked Nigerians to go about their lawful business without fear of intimidation or harassment by any group of persons. In Abuja, Francis Form, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the body of the Director of Finance of the FCT High Court, the victim of the last Friday Galadimawa flood, has been recovered at the riverbank behind the China Chamber of Commerce along Airport Road. Correspondent Ilyasu Onotu Yakubo has details.
The search team resumed operation at the Galadimawa point of the incident as early as 8 o'clock Sunday morning. Diligently, the team, comprising personnel of NEMA, FCT Emergency Management Agency, operatives of the Civil Defense Corps, and local divers, combed through the bushes along the bank of the river towards Lugbe at the airport road. At about 12 noon, Information got to the team that the advanced team had found the body of the victim at a farm along the bank of the river behind the China Chamber of Commerce towards Airport Road. The body was immediately transported to the Asokoro District Hospital mortuary, where family, friends, and colleagues were seen wailing uncontrollably.
It's a natural disaster, but we as a government will do our best to reduce the incidences. May his soul rest in peace once more.
Let me commend all the rescue workers, including the security agencies, who have been very supportive in this task.
The FCT Permanent Secretary and the Director General of FEMA advised residents to be cautious of distress situations, especially during rainy season, to prevent unforeseen circumstances. In Abuja, Ilyasu Onutu Yakubu, NTA News.
And also safety, sequel to the prompt intervention of the 2018 floods disaster by the National Emergency Management Agency, the United States Department of Agriculture has extended training to response units of the National and State Emergency Management Agencies across the country. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports that the training is to further consolidate on the gains of the 2018 floods response.
2018 floods disaster may have ravaged about 34 states, with 9 states under a state of a national disaster. But the prompt intervention by NEMA is said to have reduced the number of casualties by more than 40% compared to that of 2012 disaster. These achievements were recorded due to the high level of training and retraining of NEMA staff on response and intervention. The training is geared towards enriching the response units of the two agencies to make them proactive in responding to disaster-related matters.
With this knowledge, I can be able to impact a lot, and so many lives are going to be safe. The training is really very rich.
Director General, National Emergency Management Agency, Mustafa Mehadja, promised to make the 2019 flood intervention more proactive.
We have really benefited from this training in 2018 flood. We didn't envisage we will have such kind of devastating flood situation, but the moment it happened, it came to the thought of the management to deploy those trained, and they performed wonderfully on site.
It's a baseline or foundation training, teaching students the principles and the basic organization of the incident command system and how it works on disasters.
A simulation exercise on the intervention was displayed in readiness for any eventuality. In Abuja, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
Let's now talk security. The Commandant Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna Major General Adeni Oyebode, has reassured Nigerians that the military is up to the task of ending banditry and other criminalities across the country, as directed by President Muhammad Buhari. The Commandant gave the assurance at the Camp Highland Battle inoculation for the Nigerian Defense Academy cadets held at the Nigerian Army Training Center, Kontagora, Niger State. Mukhtar Abubakar Wowo reports.
It is not a war, but training exercises of the military cadets to expose them to the conventional warfare in different terrain so as to be able to confront the contemporary security challenges in the country. The 631 cadets, 46 female inclusive, completed their training at the Nigerian Army Training Area, Kontagora. The training marks the end of all the training exercises of the cadets who are expected to be commissioned in October this year. The Commander, Nigerian Defense Academy, Major General Adeni Oyebode, while commending President Muhammad Buhari for his support to the NDA, assured Nigerians that the cadets have been adequately trained to be able to carry out tactical operations after commission.
We have introduced counter-insurgency training, counter-terrorism training, anti-banditry, anti-kidnapping, and search and rescue, and all the likes, including, of course, the conventional training.
Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello says it has become necessary to partner the armed forces to secure forests across the state.
State government will partner with any service that wants to conduct extensive military exercises in Niger State.
The guests of honor and some other civilians were put to test in a novelty shooting to understand what the military goes through during warfare.
The event marked the end of the 2 weeks training engagement of the cadets at the Nigerian Army Training Area, Kontagora. Mukhtar Abubakaru, NTA News.
And away from security, the quest to improve agricultural productivity is gaining more momentum, with more products and methods being introduced to make it attractive to Nigerian youths. To this end, a meeting was held between the Chief Whip of the Senate, Orji Uzokalu, Federal Minister of Agriculture, and national leadership of the Radio, Television and Theatre Arts Workers Union, RATAU. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports.
Federal government's program to ensure food security and representation of the Nigerian farm produce to the world food markets was a reason for the sharing of ideas between the stakeholders. It is with a view to produce a reality television show on NTA Star Times platform as regards to agriculture, a major source of employment. With the theme Hope for Niger, the television reality show will be public-private driven.
This, we believe, is the right decision, and we are the right people.
It's about taking opportunity and hope back to the streets of Nigeria so that our people will go back to preparation.
The project tends to showcase the actual living condition and farms management by hundreds of youth to be nominated for the program.
The land we have is our strength. We should go back. Everywhere should be food in Nigeria.
It will help us not only to produce a bill backing you, but to raise motions that will fast-track this thing you are talking about.
The project is officially promoted by the Federal Minister of Agriculture to provide 10 million jobs in 10 years. It is in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Education, Federal Ministry of Sports, Radio, Television and Theatre Arts Workers Union RATAU, and NTA Star Times Network, amongst others. Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
Now to sports. Manchester City clinched 6th FA Community Shield. Kene Imagudiki brings us more on sports updates.
Thank you for staying with us. Excitement and adventure are the best words that describe the successful voyage of one of the locally made vessels of the Nigerian Navy on international waters. Dotun Oguyemi, who was on board the vessel, reports on its significance to maritime security.
NNS Karadua and NNS Ekulu are the two Nigerian Navy ships that took part in Nigerian Navy's 60th anniversary. Now, while both ships have been quite effective in their discharge of their duties in the service of the Nigerian Navy, NNS Karadua, however, stands out. This fast attack craft is a product of Nigerian engineering. Constructed by Nigerian naval engineers, NNS Karadua is the second locally built man of war, the first being NNS Andoni. Commissioned in 2016 under the Western Fleet, the ship has sailed severally for patrols, interrogated numerous vessels, and effected the arrest of several others, while it has participated in exercises and operations such as the Regional Maritime Exercise, Exercise Obangame Express 2019, Operation Junction Rain, and the ongoing exercise Okun Alafia. Covering a distance of more than 12,788.497 nautical miles, the ship also participated in exercises at the 60th Ghana Navy anniversary and later hosted members of the Nigerian community in Ghana, led by the High Commissioner to Ghana, Ambassador Olufemi Abikoye. The return journey to Nigeria, which took 24 hours, climaxed with a brief reception.
We are indeed very proud of you that you were not just good ambassadors of the Nigerian Navy, but also you flew the Nigerian flag high and with pride.
The excitement was, however, better captured by these engineers. With a short but growing list of commanding officers, Commander D.K. Malum, is proud to be at the helm.
So I'm very happy and opportune to be the first to take the ship out of the country. We also sold the idea to the Ghana Navy. We had a courtesy visit to the flag officer commanding the Eastern Naval Command on the Ghana Navy and also the Western Naval Command. We also had some pamphlets showing the ships that Nigeria has built, the Nigerian Navy dockyard. Presently, NNS Karadua is the second warship that the Nigerian Navy dockyard has built. We also have the third one, the SDB-3, which is still undergoing construction right now.
The Chief of the Naval Staff assured Nigerians that more locally made vessels will soon join the fleet. But until then, the good news is that the Navy continues to strive to build capacity to effectively police the maritime domain.
We must give it to the Nigerian Navy for constantly upgrading its fleet. Now, whenever you savor your favorite animal protein, it gives you a feeling of pleasure, doesn't it? But do you know that some of the species you consume in soups and stews could be endangered? As you chew on that possibility, Jennifer Igwe will interrogate the matter.
The average Nigerian loves eating meat. And from one generation to another, it resonates in the culinary diary of many in the nation. And the rarer the edible creature is, the higher its worth and how much it is desired by meat lovers. Love and quest for rare types of meat, including ignorance on what is and is not an endangered species, could possibly be the reason why unusual species of animals that end up at local and urban communities are hardly spared. Classic examples are dramatic scenarios where dead whales washed ashore are butchered.
We believe it's for eating, and that is why Nigerian goes for it, unlike the Western world that they preserve those animals. But in Nigeria, things are very difficult, and if one sees that, they believe it's a free gift from God.
Especially seafood, most people believe it's very, very nutritious, and they like going by it.
Two crucial questions men who engage in such crude meat harvest fail to ask or consider are these: how safe is the meat for consumption? How did it die? Cases have been recorded in Lagos, Delta, Akwa Ibom, and recently Bras in Bayelsa State.
Whales are the top of the food chain, and because of their nature, because of their physiology, they have the tendency of accumulating toxins. They accumulate toxic in their system. So when people eat such animals, irrespective of the state which they are themselves, they are liable to anything that could result as from eating things that are contaminated. It could be that it will affect their health and things like that. So I would definitely not advise anyone to eat stranded animals, because in the first instance, we don't even know why this particular one was stranded.
Environmentalists say education, more awareness campaigns, and strategic initiatives are needed to protect both the hunted and the hunter.
In that community, they are scientists. In that community, they are environmentalists. So they should, at that level, begin to educate their community and begin to maybe take notes. The sightings, at what times do they come out? And that way, the government can now come in to say, okay, maybe we need to protect this area. It's not going to be the whole shoreline, but at least those areas, because similar thing happened in Lagos here. I don't know how many times, I can't remember how many times it happened, but it has happened before. It's likely going to happen again.
Are vulnerable to environmental contaminants, same for other creatures. So the next time you see a stranded creature, don't think of free meat, think safety. Remember, it is better to be safe than sorry.
Bottom line, for those of us that can't go vegan, let's be mindful of our choice of animal protein. Moving on, in an environment where man cohabits with petroleum tank farms, the next disaster, no doubt, is closer than imagined. To residents of Satellite Town in Lagos, it's like sitting on a keg of gunpowder as every tick of the clock reminds them that the tank farms are still there and the unimaginable could occur at any time. Michael Olaleye reports.
This is Satellite Town, a dream garden for those who wish to escape from the hustle and bustle of Lagos. But that is gradually becoming history since over 12 tank farms commenced operations here. The effects are glaring. Hundreds of trucks and lorries disrupt domestic peace on a daily basis, thereby exposing residents to danger.
I was almost crushed here because the Okada I took was going in between two trailers. All right. In fact, that I escaped was God that saved my life that day.
Wastes are released into the environment while residents continually battle flood and stagnant water. In fact, getting access into one's house sometimes will require the use of rain boots.
My pumping machine is there. I have to start pumping. Anytime it rains heavily, if you don't pump, the water goes into the compound. And we have been renovating. We have been renovating due to the damage of the water.
Many residents are leaving, but for house owners like Emeka, the situation has the fast solution.
I abandoned this one, then I built another one where I'm living with my family. Up till now, I still thinking what to do with that house.
Bunkers and black market operators thrive there as their sources of wealth are close by, although to the detriment of residents. With a tensed atmosphere to contend with, a container terminal is being proposed for this location. Residents are lamenting and want concerned agencies to help alleviate their suffering.
There is a container terminal at Alakija bus stop. They are also now still intending to have another container terminal. No, it's not good for the residents.
This meeting is suggesting an impact mitigation strategy with the belief that shoreline protection and jetty facility will ameliorate their challenges.
We cannot cohabit with a volatile kind of business. That is not a port in the first place. And then they should look for a virgin land. There are other places. It's not a free trade zone whereby they can just come and start setting up industries or things like that.
Residents are losing sleep and they want their once beautiful and splendid environment returned to the good old days.
The residents want the tank farms moved. The authorities are aware, and we intend to keep an eye on developments. Now, geographically, the forest cover of Cross River State is 58% in Nigeria, and the state government has concrete plans to surpass that impressive figure. The ambition is to plant 1 million trees annually. Wow! To achieve this, the government has declared what it tags Green Holiday, a day set aside for the planting of trees. Basi Edet reports that the first edition featured the Green Carnival across the 18 local government areas of the state.
Another carnival here in Calabar, the Cross River State capital. But this time around is not the usual Christmas carnival which you are used to. What we have here is called the Green Carnival, and it is aimed at planting 1 million trees every year.
Cross River State is endowed with a rich rainforest and currently boasts of 58% of the entire forest cover in Nigeria. With the proposed superhighway, which would inadvertently affect the rainforest, the Green Carnival is to ensure that 1 million trees are planted annually. Governor Ben Ayade, whose brainchild is the Green Carnival, said the tree planting would once again provide a platform for youth to make money by cultivating nurseries, which would make available seedlings annually.
We will tell the world that we are indeed planting 1 million trees as a justification to support the deforestation process, not only for the superhighway, but for the industrial farms that are yet to come.
The Green Carnival, marked with a green holiday, saw offices, shops, and markets closed to give way for a successful event. Participants described the event as laudable.
A planting of trees spiritual. That's why the church is fully represented here.
You know, the habit of planting trees so that in the depletion of other trees, this one will grow up and beautify the environment.
Now it's my turn to go plant my tree. Also ensure that you plant a tree today. It helps to keep the environment green and clean.
Amazing afforestation drive there by Cross River State. Other states need to take a cue. It was a moment of joy when the conjoined twins delivered in Boko local government area departed for Yola in Adamawa State on the invitation of someone who offered to assist. The Wese Akeme, who visited the residence of the conjoined twins' parents, has more.
That NTA exclusively reported the delivery of conjoined twins on 13th July in Boko local government area of Benue State and the complications that trailed their situation. This is more so as the babies had separate heads and hands but shared same lower limbs. Medical experts on initial examination said their complex anatomy presented a challenge. This has drawn the attention of various groups and individuals. A visit to the family of the conjoined twins shows that their house is under lock and key. The neighbors of the family who expressed empathy explained that they have gone to Yola on invitation of an individual who has offered to help them. At the health facility where the twins were delivered, medical personnel said apart from the conjoined twins, there had been several other cases of abnormal deliveries.
Apart from the conjoined twins, we had 2 other cases that were strange to us. The other one, the babies were born twins, and the other one of the twins was not born with anus, and she's defecating through her vagina, and the other, she's about 5 years now, and the other one we delivered like 3 years back. The child was born male and female private parts.
For now, the hope of the parents and other well-wishers is that a medical solution can be found one way or the other.
That was quite touching, and we will keep you posted on the progress of the twins. It was a game of different tales from different sides when junior secondary school 3 student of Federal Government Girls College, Buhari, Kamila Sani Manga, died. KG Busari Ahmed, who has been following the story, brings us up to speed.
What was the dream like?
Yeah, her dream was to become a medical doctor after finishing school, probably because of the experience she had while growing up.
That was a mere dream, which was never to come true, as it is said to have been shattered due to sheer negligence in some quarters, according to findings. And of course, due to the fact that Kamila Sani Manga has since the 6th of May 2019 been buried and covered deep down 6 feet here at the Gudu Cemetery, with the root cause of the death yet to be known to the parents officially. To set the record straight, late Kamila Sani Manga was a GSS 3 student of the Federal Government Girls College, Buhari, before she was allegedly murdered by a fellow student.
One of her friends contacted me through Facebook and told me what actually happened, that my daughter was hit in the stomach by one of her schoolmates. And as a result of that, my daughter vomited blood, her stomach swelled up, and that's what led to her demise.
It is a different story from the school's authority, though.
It was her mates, that's her close friends, that told us that that night at about 11 p.m., they were still awake in the dormitory, that they ate gari soaked in water. When they finished eating the gari, Then another one of them brought mangoes, and they ate mangoes. At about 2 a.m., she got up to eat herself. So she told her that her tummy was aching.
But just when Khamila's father was trying to take the incident as an act of God, though with a great deal of suspicion, one of Khamila's classmates searched for him on the Facebook to offer the scrolled information and mentioned other students who were present and could corroborate her information. At the Buhari General Hospital, efforts to get the chief medical director and the head of clinicals to speak proved abortive, as the hospital secretary who contacted them through phone said they were away on official assignment, while a very senior medical officer who opted to speak to us behind the camera said Khamila Manga was brought in dead to the hospital on the 5th of May 2019. Meanwhile, the school's authority says Khamila was not dead in the school. Now, let's look at it this way. From the Federal Government Girls College, Buhari, to the General Hospital, Buhari, it's barely a 10-minute drive. Both Camila's father and the school authority agreed that the father of the deceased did not spend up to 40 minutes before getting to the hospital after they had called him. So, if you add up the 10 minutes drive from the school to the Buhari General Hospital, it gives you less than an hour. Now, how possible is this?
I got several calls from Federal Government Girls College Buhari that there was an emergency involving my daughter, Camila Sani Manga. So I quickly picked my wife and headed straight to the Buhari General Hospital. On getting there, the vice principal showed me a body of my daughter, which had become very, very stiff, meaning she died long before I was even called.
It's called rigor mortis. Rigor mortis is the process of the muscles breaking down and a corpse, which is a dead person, stiffening up. That process can start as early as 4 hours after death and can last up to 72 hours or more.
Honestly, I'm so shocked. So up till now, we've not had any concrete reason from the school.
Now, come to think of it, whether Khamila died in the school or died on the way to the hospital, or better still, died in the hospital. Shouldn't the incident have been reported to the police in the area?
Did the school report to the police?
Well, you find that, well, let me call it an oversight. On the part of the college, that we did not inform the police.
If same thing happens to a child under your care, that is criminal in nature. You do not, first of all, report to the police, report to the hospital. Minor issues you can treat at the clinic, okay? And then from there, if event any point that death arises, you are duty bound, to report to the Nigerian police. Failure to do this raises prima facie the case of criminal negligence.
At the end of investigation, if there is any complicity, if there was any attempt to cover anything, we will be able to unearth.
This loophole, experts say, may have denied the police the right to conduct a coroner inquest. Or else, why should the bereaved be the one to report the death of her daughter to the police? A girl in the custody of the Federal Government Girls College, Buhari. Well, there are so many questions here begging for answers, especially the confessions made by late Khamila's class and hostel mates, who were first-hand witnesses as the incident occurred in their hostel. The Federal Ministry of Education, the Federal Government Girls College Authority, and of course, the Nigerian Police FCT Command sure have a great role to play if the true cause of Khamila's untimely death must be unraveled. The parents have said so much, and some of the students have also said so much as well. But Khamila here cannot tell us what actually happened. As you can see, she is below 6 feet.
That was a mysterious incident. Expectedly, justice will prevail in the end. Time to go on a break. Stay with Newsline for more.
You are extraordinary.
A home of federal and multinational agencies in the maritime, oil and gas sectors recently. I ask because the thoughts of going to Apapa on road a few months ago sent shivers down your spine. However, the federal government's directive on decongestion of the ports is beginning to pay off as the traffic situation has improved. Paul Omukago reports.
In the beginning, it was like this. Then the federal government stepped in, giving a marching order for articulated vehicles to be removed.
We just attended to the critical stakeholders that we must be on the same boat concerning this tax ahead, and I believe that is going to work.
Although it is not yet Uhuru, the growing experience of spending hours on different routes by road to Apapa and Tinkan ports has reduced drastically. For workers in the maritime, financial, and the oil and gas sectors, there is indeed a light at the end of every tunnel. The relief is not just for personnel of these industries, but the military, paramilitary, and other agencies of government, as well as the business community. The near success in the management of traffic and the congestion of the port's environment has led to an improvement in socio-economic activities.
If I want to pass my truck, I'll be using like maybe 2 or 3 days before I pass only one truck. But for now, within 24 hours, I can pass like 2, 1, 3.
Like about 5-6 months ago, all these places is always blocked and all of that. But now, the traffic now is less.
From airways to ports is moving, so they don't allow any truck to park on the road anymore.
At Ojonegba, I used to park my car there, then carry Okada. That's my motorbike. So it has drastically improved.
Helen Sunday is a food vendor at Wharf Road, Apapa. The free flow of traffic, she says, has affected her when compared to bricks business during the chaotic days.
I like as the road is free for workers. I like them. For us, we business people. For me, I don't like her because no markets. We go there for money till 9. Before 2, 3, we don't close, we don't go out. Now we go there till 10, we still they sell. Because of the road don't be free. Go slow no day again.
Different strokes for different folks, you may say. But what was the magic wand? A key industry player in answering says the federal government's order on the removal of articulated vehicles from bridges and roads was the turning point.
We provided corridor for them to come in the night. That is also a sort of, traffic, management system. And we have recommended to Nigerian Customs and to the Vice President that, overtime cargo, which is taking about 6 to 10% space in some terminals, should be immediately auctioned. We are not out of the woods yet. We are going on to see that there is sustenance of these traffic regulations.
As the Apapa gridlock gradually becomes history, focus is shifting to other areas within Lagos metropolis, particularly maintenance and reconstruction of some major roads.
The decongestion has brought so much relief to Lagosians, and that's a win for the federal government. 'Tis that season of the year when the new yam is harvested. In line with the custom of most communities, drums are rolled out to celebrate the king of crops before it is eaten. One community that never misses out on ceremonies such as this is Okori Eleme in Rivers State, where the turnout of people is led by its paramount ruler, His Royal Highness Apollos Chu. Chimdemma Ndubisi will tell us how the recent festival went.
The people of Okori community in Eleme Rivers State in high spirit as they celebrate the New Yam Festival known as Abuja, which usually lasts 2 days once harvesting is over. In this part of the globe, no one is expected to eat the new yam until festivities are observed. As tradition demands, The people on the first day of the celebration cook the new yam, inviting relatives and friends to their homes to eat together. Call it a reunion of sorts, and you wouldn't be wrong, as Eleme's sons and daughters come in from far and near, meeting up with people they haven't seen for a long time, a practice seen as a unifying factor in the land.
Ogbonja means coming together to eat as one.
All roads on the second day of the event lead to the palace for the grand finale. One unique feature of this celebration is that women, in a show of allegiance and respect, bring cooked new yam and other food items to their king.
King is our big husband. We give to your king before you chop, because he's the owner of the whole land.
The last time this festival was celebrated was 40 years ago. The people are full of joy and gratitude to the Egbere Emere Okori I of Eleme, His Royal Highness Apollos II, for reviving the age-long tradition.
It was almost gone moribund, and Chief Apollos, who has gathered us, is the one that is trying to, awaken it.
For the custodian of Okori Eleme's customs, norms and values, his interest is to build a stronger cultural and morally sound community for national development.
Our custom, our culture is our identity. There's no other means of living in this kingdom here than farming and fishing, mostly farming. So when they're going into that sort of farming, naturally, if you're going to be very competitive, this thing makes us to be competitive so that I will do better than what I've done this year. And then to increase my production of my crops, of my agriculture, my ag performance.
Well, this revived tradition, made in pray, will live beyond this generation to drive home the importance of agriculture and hard work.
Majestic way to rekindle an age-long festival. Now, moving on, Shell Nigeria Exploration and Production Company Limited, SNEPCO, in collaboration with NMPC and co-venture partners, has donated the latest linear radiotherapy machine to the National Hospital, Abuja. The equipment has been described by medical experts as a first of its kind in Africa and a critical intervention for the health sector. Managing Director, Shell Nigeria Exploration and Production Company Limited, Bayo Ojulari, at the inauguration, reveals that the donation is born out of SNEPCO's determination to bridge the yawning gaps in the health sector and provide succor to cancer patients. Lydia Sampson has the report.
Statistics have shown that 1 in 5 men and 1 in 6 women worldwide develop cancer during their lifetime, and 1 in 8 men and 1 in 11 women die from the disease. That is alarming.
Cancer is a public health issue affecting a large number of the Nigerian population. The limited resources to manage cancer cases further compounds the predicament of patients. While the few who can afford it embark on endless medical tourism abroad, the less privileged continue to suffer endless wait to access the hitherto single radiotherapy machine in the National Hospital Abuja, which they can hardly afford. The good news is that NNPC and SNEPCO's donation of a linear radiotherapy machine to the National Hospital will change diagnosis and treatment of cancer in Nigeria for good.
The equipment donated by Shell and NNPC is state-of-the-art, and this is the best you can find anywhere in the world, I make bold to say.
Medical experts say the donated equipment offers a unique therapy that accurately shapes the radiation to the tumor with little or no adverse effect on other surrounding organs, unlike the past when radiation is said to affect other organs. Little wonder the intervention, which is part of SNEPCO's why the social investment program has drawn encomiums from stakeholders.
Shell, in terms of technology, even the technology we use for our oil and gas, we always look at the best. Because what it means is, if you look at the example you've heard today, most of the new technologies provide cheaper operation, so more people have access to the technology. It's also faster, which means more patients can be covered.
We cannot leave it all to the government. The government resources are scarce, and we need wealthy individuals and corporate bodies.
We appreciate SNEPCO for initiating this unique project.
Most importantly, we need to have technology, and today, through the donation of NNPC and Shell, Nigeria has one of the best radiotherapy machines in the country.
Being in the oil industry, HSSE, that's health, security, safety and environment, is top priority for us.
The MD SNEPCO says the organization has other projects spread across the country that are impacting the host communities positively, and more are still in the pipeline.
A noble gesture by Shell and partners. Moving on, recognition at any level of human endeavor does not just happen. It is a reward for selfless contributions to nation building. Beneficiaries feel appreciated and loved when such awards come from the people they tirelessly serve. This is the story of the Executive Secretary, Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, Simbi Wabote, who was honored at the 2019 Business Day Nigerian Business Leadership Awards in Lagos.
The arrival of the man of the moment, accompanied by the management team, set the stage for the awards. Instituted to recognize individuals, corporate organizations, and entrepreneurs, the 2019 Awards for Management and Staff Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board was a double celebration. First, the chief executive of the board was honored for distinction in leadership in the public sector. And then a second followed as NCDMB was bestowed with the award of government agency for enabling business. The Executive Secretary, while commending the President for the opportunity to serve, reassured Nigerians of the board's determination to develop the Nigerian content's 10-year roadmap to grow Nigerian content to 70% by 2027.
Particular award, we see the sincerity, we see the selection process, and we see that if you look at all the people that are being given the award today, there are people who have really contributed, and there are no political undertones in giving this award. So for me, that was very inspirational.
For the recipient's wife and the board, the recognition is well deserved.
I thank God for his life because he's so hardworking, and I pray that the Lord will strengthen him.
Part of the key objective of the board is to ensure that in growing Nigerian content, we're able to provide cheap funding. So this award significantly shows the effort the board has put in place.
Lifetime Achievement, Global and Sectoral Awards were the other categories.
Congrats to the Executive Secretary on that award. The Nigerian entertainment industry is fast moving to a stage where it can compete favorably with the rest of the world. This is why a concerned Nigerian and philanthropist whose contributions to achieving the organization's dream has been applauded. The event took place in Ole Kingdom, Delta State, and Annie Daniels is set to tell us how it all went and who this concerned Nigerian is.
These are popular Nollywood actors arriving in the ancient kingdom of Ole in Delta State. Their sense is to honor a Nigerian whose love and support for the fast-growing industry cannot be quantified.
It is due him
That's why we're supporting him. And we need such people to be eulogized, be upgraded, be lifted, so that it's like when the right hand washes the left hand washes the right.
He is telling us something. Hey guys, I give you an open check. What do you want? Because in this same space, he will bring his friends.
He will help us in developing that model we've been talking about.
This is why they have come out en masse to rally round Daniel Omoyibo as he mounts the throne of honor as the custodian of the Directors Guild of Nigeria, highly revered position in Nigeria's entertainment industry. His post? Patron, Directors Guild of Nigeria. What better way to express his delight at this honor than doing what he knows how best to do?
When I'm still young, I have love for, let's say, the directors and even the actress and even the actors. In the next few weeks, the next few days, the next few months, you will see changes in DGN.
As Africans who know, understand, and are proud of their fatherland, the group paid homage to some traditional rulers in Ole Kingdom, where President of the Guild, Fred Amata, was honored with a chieftaincy title. Daniel Omoyibo is a native of Ole Kingdom, Delta State. He is a philanthropist and the chief executive officer of Dantinajo Group of Companies, including Dantinajo Gold Park Resort, Ole.
And on behalf of the entertainers, we say thanks to their benefactor. Next up, spectacular moments of entertaining displays characterize the graduation ceremony of Nigerian Tulip International College, class of 2019 in Abuja. Oyinaya Kaluoka brings the interesting highlights.
The atmosphere was filled with joy and laughter.
Graduating class of 2019. Today, we leave NCIC, not as the children we came in, but as adults, ready to face the world.
Interesting displays filled the air as both students and relations requested for more.
Today is a day of celebration. It's a day to celebrate all the hard work that you got to this moment. Today is a day of thanks.
With their performances, many say the graduating class of 2019 were prepared academically and morally to face the world.
And there's no how you pass through NTIC and you not get one or two things from this school.
I feel a lot of things. I have lots of mixed feelings. I'm very happy, and at the same time, really sad, leaving everybody behind and everything.
And I was actually very shocked because I didn't imagine I would get such an award. Everyone should read very well and work hard and make their parents proud.
So it has been a very exciting journey. I made a lot of friends. I gained a lot of new relationships.
They should work hard and focus on their school because education is the key to many doors, and education can take you anywhere.
I've always been interested in the geography of Nigeria and Africa, and then I feel like my fellow students are too. Genuinely love reading. It's my favorite hobby, and my advice to my fellow students would be read. It's one of the best things you can do for yourself.
For parents who have watched the students grow from kids to mature adults, their joy knew no bounds.
The students have really enjoyed themselves. They have very good facilities.
Courtesan, etc. Please stay clear of these things.
It's a very comfortable institution, and the educational achievement so far has been very, very encouraging.
It's a good school, excellent school.
Reading is the future of the world. It's the biggest social capital that is about to evolve. It is what will change the world, what will empower the mind, and what will lead to the greatest development of mankind.
About 22 best students of class 2019 were awarded full scholarship to study any course of their choice at Nile University of Nigeria.
Of Nigeria
provides up to 30% scholarship for each NTIC graduate.
It was an interesting time with lasting memory, they said.
Best wishes to those smart young children. Let's take a breather now. I'll return after these messages.